So 2 on, 1 out, and the payoff pitch. And that's ball. Oh, man.
That pitch missed by a good 4 inches.
Man.
I don't think Alex can believe it. And he just threw him out of the game.
Yeah, because he blows the call.
Now, Corey Blazers had a good day behind the plate. But this was not a good call. Take a look at where the pitch appears. It's a breaking ball. It starts out outside, ends up way outside, and he rings him up on that pitch. Again, with the preface that Blazers been good, that call was not good.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Bottom of the 7th inning, a 1-0 lead for the Mets. Oh, he went on the appeal to third. Lance Barksdale, after a long delay, finally the signal goes down to third. He says Schneider went, and Young strikes him out as the Phillies leave the bases loaded here in the 7th inning. One more look going to break. Charlie Manuel's out to argue. Didn't like the call, but the call stands, and the inning is over. Two outs in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2 pitch to Brian Schneider. And on appeal, Lance Barksdale, the third base umpire, said he went. Inning was over. Charlie Manuel got tossed out when he was still about 60 feet away from Barksdale.
Asking a lot of questions. He just wants to go out and play. Good pitch. That 2-seamer falls right back in there.
Well, that's the second time he's been able to get LaRoche looking, and LaRoche doesn't like the call.
Yeah, well, he took a 2-2 pitch before, which was a strike. He's been getting strikes all night long. Look how that ball moved right back over the plate. Take a look now again. That's that 2-seam grip. But he knows he's not supposed to be arguing balls and strikes.
I was surprised that Alfonso Marquez allowed him to come out and even say anything.
Well, he's fighting for his players right now and trying to let them know that he's behind them 100%. But I think when he goes and looks at it on the tape, Jim will realize that that was a strike.
Well, now Riggleman will say his piece because he's already thrown out of this game. Honestly, I think Marquez's strike zone has been pretty good tonight. And I know that
he's missed a few, but for the most part, you're absolutely right.
I know Worley has 6 strikeouts, but still.
Now, when you're around the plate, though, you're going to get pitches. And again, I thought that was a pretty good pitch. There's Riggleman saying, hey, is that ball low or where is it? You can't argue balls and strikes or check swings.
Back here at Tropicana Field, the Rays trying to build an inning. It has not been easy tonight. They're down by 2. Jason Frazier is the new pitcher. You know, while they made that pitching change, John Farrell had a little discussion with the first base umpire, Joe West, who's the crew chief here. And it was more than just a passing conversation. It started with Chad Fairchild. And before that was over, Joe West got involved. And I think he has to be careful. There were a couple of pitches he thought were pretty good pitches. And, you know, he can't really argue that point. West came down then to move things along.
I have video evidence that he can.
And as we look into that dugout, he's not there. So he may have been ejected.
Either that or he's going back to look at video.
Yep. They make the pitching change, and well, right there was kind of a leisurely ejection by Chad Fairchild
on both sides.
And then I mean, that was a pretty sedate exchange for an ejection. But all he has to do is mention a ball and a strike call. Full down to third. Encarnacion steps on the bag. Throw to first wide. And Lynn missed the tag. So the Rays will continue the inning. Kochman was out. Jaso moves into second, and Fold reaches on the missed tag. And now we're going to have a little conversation here. West made the call, and Angel Hernandez in over there along with Chad Fairchild, and here comes
you saw the look
rest of the crew. Paul Scheiber.
You saw that look on Joe Madden's face, like what could you possibly be talking about? Because if they're talking about the tag, who is closer than Joe West?
Yeah.
I mean, what's Chad Fairchild going to see from behind home plate 90 feet away if he got tapped on the back?
Well, they're gonna call it a double play, and now George Hendrick is talking with Joe West, and Madden is going to come in here, and Madden just asked Fold if he was tagged or not, and now Madden, I wouldn't be surprised if Madden doesn't stick around long enough to get ejected, and he's gone. That's not surprising at all, and now Joe will get his money's worth with Joe West here. So Madden has been ejected. Both managers in this inning ejected, and this one is a little more demonstrative than the first one. Madden wants to know what in the world could have occurred that would have allowed this to be overruled and become a double play.
Well, that's exactly. Joe's saying if you're calling him out on the tag, who in the world had a closer view than Joe West? And how are you going to see it from that far away to know that he got him on the swipe and hit him in the back?
They're bill of the cap to bill of the cap right here. West has left the scene after the ejection, and that's Angel Hernandez right there. So let's take a couple looks here.
That glove may have got to the jersey of Sam Fold, but watch the foot. Watch the left foot. There he is, and maybe, but who can say that? If Joe West says safe from right where he's standing, how in the world is any umpire, whether it be at home plate, out at second base, going to say definitively overrule that call and say he was tagged on the swipe? That's brutal.
You see where West is positioned.
I don't know, right on top of it.
So his foot's on the bag, and then the tag.
Nicked him on that back of the right arm.
They just missed that call, and a guy from 90 feet overrules it. That's just a bad call.
That's brutal.
And strike three called, and Upton is going to be ejected. Upton ejected here. This will be the third ejection of this game. And I don't think that pitch was a strike.
No, I don't think it was either. And I think they need to keep B.J. Upton away from Fairchild so he doesn't cost them any more. He is riled up.
It's 3 times Fairchild has called him out on strikes on pitches tonight, and that one was not a strike.
Well, the last two, the one was off the plate down and away, and then that pitch looked to be off in. And he wasted no time in bringing up B.J. Upton, but they got to keep him away from Fairchild. Yeah, that ball clearly in.
Yep, clearly a ball. Well, you hate to see all that. In a lot of ways, you hate to see all that. You hate to see the poor calls, and the Rays have been on the receiving end of some bad stuff tonight.
1.5 earned run average. Big, tall right-hander, really beginning to feel like he belongs in the big leagues, pitching aggressively.
Beauty. Bill Hull walking about 20 feet outside the batter's box, and he's asking the home plate umpire a question. The home plate umpire, Tom Hallion's not even looking at it.
Yeah, Tom Hallion's on a little bit of a short fuse right now.
What's wrong with that pitch? Now, the one to Johnson, I can understand why he was upset. That called third strike down the inning. And now Hall is gone, and he's gone from the game.
Gone for good. You know that was happening.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how a batter can allow a second pitch strike or a strike early in the at-bat to just ruin his day like that. I don't get it. But I think that there must be some chirping coming from that Houston Astro dugout all game long.
To third, a throw to first, and they got him as Span now in a rundown. They tag him out. Home plate umpire is calling it off.
Dropped a balk on him?
He's dropping a balk on Tim Wakefield. They will get a run out of this. It'll put the Twins on top 4-0. And second base will be given to Span. And Terry Francona has been ejected.
What new Hernandez?
You cannot argue a balk either, which is part of the reason he is right away ejected. And the balk called here. And
I don't think he went all the way to third when there's fake to third.
Well, Joe West is getting in the way of Terry Francona. And Tito wants his time.
He is hot. I've never seen that. He is hot.
You're not allowed to argue a balk, so he was ejected on the way out there right away.
Right.
And he wanted the chance to talk to Angel Hernandez. Joe West, crew chief, wouldn't let him.
Well, if that's the case, I thought maybe he said something right away, but if you can't argue that, you are gone. But boy, that teed him off, didn't it?
Sure did.
Oh, would have teed me off too.
Well, it is a balk. A run scores.
He doesn't finish his move to third base is what I'm guessing. See what I mean? He stepped.
Yes.
That's what I think. And how could he see that? You'd think the third base umpire would call that. I think you have to continue the fake throw to third with your foot. It's like a left-handed pitcher pick off to first.
It's all about deceiving the runner there,
yes.
Right? And that's the problem.
Runner goes. Throw by Brzezinski. Not in time. Stolen base. Figgins. 1 out. And Bradley. Wow, he's called out. He was punched out. And now he's thrown out of the game. Milton Bradley's second time this week. Look at Eric Wedge has got to hold him back. Somebody help him. Let's take a look.
Well, it looked like they had 3 fastballs up and in to Milton, and this last one looks like it's down and away. That's where Brzezinski's set up. Milton not happy with it.
Maybe the front edge of the plate.
I think that pitch was off the plate away, and I think Milton's argument is that if you're going to give him those pitches up and in, you can't give him both sides of the plate. That last pitch looked like it was borderline. You can take a look at the tracer. On the tracer, that pitch is off the plate away, so Milton certainly had a beef on that.
And now he's at third with 2 outs. And he will remain at third. And Willingham is gone. Bob Guerin comes out arguing, but his team just tied the game at 3.
Torrealba hits this one toward left field. Ranging over to make the play is Gardner for the first out of the 8th.
Soriano is normally a guy that comes in and has a fastball 92 to 94 miles an hour, kind of a hard slider. It looks like today he's conserving it. What's going on here?
Got an argument going on down there with Ron Washington.
Yeah, Torrealba's arguing with the first base umpire. Didn't see exactly what happened. A routine ball to the left fielder. Didn't even watch Torrealba get all the way to first base. That's not one where you anticipate an argument, but let's see.
He got tossed immediately.
He had to be arguing about the play at first base.
Yeah, had to be that. He had to make a comment about Napoli beating Swisher to the bag. He's already been tossed at that point. He's getting his money's worth.
Line to left, deep, at Tabata. Gonna get there. And they might have a chance for another double play. Here's the throw to first. How about that? 2 double plays from outfield catches. McCutchen and now Tabata.
You will not see that in a ball game very, very often. Now Mattingly wants to go out and know.
He thinks it was trapped, doesn't he?
Yep, here we go. I'm going to slow it down.
And it was.
Yep.
The Pirates had a catch yesterday that was called a no catch, a trap. When Carlos Lee hit a ball in the left center gap, McCutchen made the catch. But then second base umpire Jeff Nelson called it a trap. Clint Hurdle came out to argue. Here, the Pirates get a call on what was obviously a Tabata trap.
We saw it earlier. We're going to see it again.
The Bucks get a call, and it's a big one.
Now, Mattingly is going to ask for help.
Well, yesterday, Clint Hurdle asked for help and didn't get it from that umpiring crew, a different crew.
Yep. And I think that actually, here we go, 7-4-3, the official ruling.
Here's yesterday now. This is the catch that McCutchen made, but was ruled a trap. And that was a leadoff, as it turned out, double by Carlos Lee. Mattingly continues to make a case, probably to ask for help. Don Mattingly in his first year, he said he could see it better, pointing toward the second base umpire Jim Reynolds. Basically, why not ask? See, I understand that. There's Jim Reynolds. Mattingly shakes his head as he heads back. Boy, what a huge play.
This might be our first shot. That shows it best. Yep. Definite trap.
He came out and argued it was he who hit the ball that was trapped by Tabata. And the first thing he did was go to the umpire. And now he was tossed, and Don Mattingly might follow. Mattingly was out talking to the first base umpire and crew chief Tim Wilkie, and now he is tossed.
Yeah. What I'm thinking, Greg, is they got information from upstairs somewhere down into the dugout, and they're saying without a doubt it was trapped. And now they're going to re-enter the fray.
Here's what happened during the break a few moments ago. The toss on the AGH cam. You're gone on Uribe. Uribe, when he heard he was ejected, came in and it was blocked by Jim Reynolds, the second base umpire. Create some interference. So Mattingly and Uribe, manager and third baseman, have been ejected. Aaron Miles will go to third.
Checked his swing and a foul tip. 1-2. Valencia now appealing to Joe West, saying he didn't touch it. I thought I heard the tick, and now Ron Gardenhire is going to come out, and Joe West is warning him not to come out.
Well, he just what Gardy wants is go ask the first base umpire. And I knew sooner or later Joe West would be part of this ball game.
Try to imagine what Joe West is thinking, but I think he heard what I thought I heard. And Ron Gardenhire saying appeal to the first base ump, thinking perhaps it was a check swing.
Well, Gardy has a right to come out and question this call. Just ask him. And then Joe West runs him out of the ball game.
Walked him intentionally, and then Martinez beat him.
And Cabrera having some words with Vic, and he's been tossed. The rookie umpire has thrown out Miguel Cabrera for arguing balls and strikes. Wasn't what he said so much as the hand gestures, I suspect, that got him ejected.
And Jim Leyland's going to have words with the home plate umpire.
We saw it from Joe West the other night in Boston. Managers can't argue balls and strikes, so whatever Leland said was probably said in defense of his hitter.
Well, it looked like the pitch fire Fox track hit the lower part of the strike zone. Cabrera. Well, I think all he said was, hey, well, you're calling a one up, now you're calling it down. And now you'll be watching the rest of the game in the clubhouse. Another curveball, a bouncer. Weeks ranging over, flips to Counsell to throw to first in time for a double play. Wow. Close play at first. The Brewers turn to a beautiful double play. Weeks to Counsell, the fielder.
Yep, flipped it out of his glove, and Counsell able to get it over to first base just in time. And once again, Clint Hurdle on his way out to have an argument with one of the umpires.
That is Chris Conroy, the umpire who was in the crosshairs last night with the Brewers, and Clint Hurdle might be on his way to an ejection. There he goes. Hurdle has been tossed.
Well, when you first saw it, it looked like Walker beat it at first base. But look at this from Ricky. Flips it out of the glove over to Counsell. And let's check it out. Bang, bang. Could have gone either way. Benefit of the doubt this time to Milwaukee. But it all started with a good curveball from LaTroy Hawkins. Very, very close at first base. Could have gone either way. And a big double play turned by Milwaukee.
Wow, that's as close as it gets.
Yeah, you can't really argue either way. Of course, it's easy for us to say the double play was called, but you can see why Clint Hurdle went out there upset.
But a nationally televised game here tomorrow night on ESPN. That was a flinch by the home plate umpire, Mike Winters, and think he overruled himself.
Watch the right shoulder of Mike Winters, the home plate umpire. When that comes up, he's ready to bring that right hand up, but Mike thought better of it, and Joe Girardi did not.
He saw the flinch, I guarantee you.
You bet he did.
And now the count 3-2. Here is that pitch with 2 strikes to Varitek.
With the score only 2-0, this would have been the second out. Joe Girardi wanted the pitch. Sabathia, Russell Martin, they didn't get it. Varitek shaking his head no. Varitek ultimately got a base hit, an RBI single to right, and then the 3-run home run after the base hit by Pedroia.
And I think you're right about Girardi because he has been ejected.
Oh, he has.
Oh, and here's Girardi.
Disabled list to start the year with a back injury. That's on the inside corner, and Estrada rings him up. Snyder is barking at Chris Conroy. He's just been tossed. The Pirates lose their catcher. So Snyder ejected. Take you back to the last inning. Marco Estrada splitting the hairs there with Chris Snyder, and he's arguing balls and strikes and immediately gets tossed by home plate umpire Chris Conroy.
Off the end of the bat, Valencia.
No.
He's
oh no! Come on! No way!
Holy mackerel! Jerry Meals at second base called Olivo out. Here comes Eric Wedge.
Hurry up and get him out of there. Atta baby.
First of all, it looked like he beat it. Secondly, I'm not sure how Casilla kept his foot on the bag.
I thought he flat beat it.
He did beat it.
Wasn't even close. Eric's getting his money's worth.
I don't think he's gonna be around.
And there he goes. First ejection. Wow. There's 2 outs. What do you want me to do about it?
Well, we'll take a look at it. This is Squibb down the third base line. Valencia fields it cleanly, and we'll take a look at this throw. And it looks like Miguel is clearly there. There's no doubt
he's popping up.
Yep.
There's no question.
Maybe not. He didn't keep his leg extended. He started to pop up out of his slide.
Let's see.
Well, that right there looks like he's saved by a mile.
The side view looked like maybe Mr. Mills, we owe an apology to. Maybe he was out.
One delivery. Oh, that caught him on the head. That hit the helmet of Dickerson.
Really something you never want to see. Been around the game too long.
Girardi was checking the helmet, I'm sure hoping for a mark.
Take a look at this pitch from Gonzalez.
And they have thrown Gonzalez out of the ball game. The Orioles don't have anybody left to pitch in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that that's intentional, Mike Gonzalez, and we all know how wild he can get with his release point.
Tomorrow's starter, Jeremy Guthrie, is in the bullpen.
And here's the pitch. Got him on the sort of the bill of the cap, but leaning in. He always had to duck his head. I'm just not sure how that abrasion got to the left side of his face.
Hawkins back out there for a second inning, and quick pitches Tulowitzki for a strikeout.
Yes, he did. And Tulowitzki not very happy about it. But he's in the box.
Now Rob Drake is giving it back to Tulowitzki a little bit. Tulowitzki saying he can't do that. Drake saying yes he can.
Well, it's not really a quick pitch. It's very similar to what Mike McClendon does.
Tulowitzki has just been ejected. And now Jim Tracy is going to get his money's worth here. He might go with him.
Or I should say, LaTroy Hawkins, usually he does a very deliberate come set. He didn't do that. Watch him. He's going to come to plate right now. Now, Tulowitzki is ready in the box. I mean, how can you say that he got quick pitched? He was there ready. A quick pitch is basically, by the letter of the rules, the hitter with his head down, really not ready for the pitch to come. But Tulowitzki was ready. LaTroy Hawkins just sped things up a little bit on him.
Yeah, you have to reverse the words, I guess, to make, because a quick pitch is illegal.
Right.
But he pitched quick.
Pitched quick.
Well, the Badger Mutual Insurance runs. Betancourt went around again, I think. Oh, got a break there. That call made by Bruce Dreckman, and heat coming from the Colorado dugout. Gary Darling looking into the Colorado dugout. They're screaming and hollering at Gary Darling. And Gary Darling said, hey, I didn't call it. Bruce Dreckman did. And now somebody has been asked to leave the game for Colorado. I believe that's Rich Dower. I know it is. Rich Dower has been ejected by Gary Darling. As soon as that call was made by Bruce Dreckman at first, Rich Dower was on the top step of the dugout screaming and hollering at Gary Darling. And when Betancourt took that half swing, it looked like he went around. And Rich Dower will watch the rest, or listen to the rest of tonight's proceedings from the clubhouse.
No shot even hanging with you on that today. And a bunt attempt past the mound. It's a good one. Andino will have to hurry, never get it. An absolutely perfect drag bunt for Bernardina. And he is on with the leadoff single.
And we've seen him do this to third base a couple of times. Nice job of bringing it with you. You just get that ball in no man's land right there. With Bernardina's speed, he's going to beat that out every single time. I don't know what Jim Riggleman is out there talking about. Maybe Bernardina stepped on home plate. He's arguing right now with home plate umpire Todd Tickner.
And very animated as well.
I'm not sure what's
unless
really
they're calling Bernardina back, maybe.
I think they're saying he's out. That he's
they might
out of
say
the batter's box.
So Riggleman and Tishner continuing to go at it, and Riggleman has been ejected. So Todd Tishner, the home plate umpire. Bernardina's still down at first base, so if he steps on the plate, he's out.
Let's take a look at it. There's the pitch from Chris Tillman. Yeah, right on the middle of the plate.
And I'll tell you what, guys, that is very alert umpiring to have the presence of mind to look down to make sure that nothing illegal happened.
Well, how do you know where the pitch is going to end up and look down at the player's foot on home plate? How can you call ball and strike and see that his foot's on the plate? I mean, that's pretty good multitasking right there, if you ask me.
And you saw how quickly he made the call. His arms went up really immediately. Jim Riggleman is going to last all of 2 pitches this afternoon.
And Todd Tishner is on this crew. He's a minor league vacation relief umpire, and he got the call right. Nicely done.
And now 4-pitch walk to Colby Rasmus, who has walked 3 times today. Angel Campos and Matt Trainer getting into it. Ned Yost yelling from the first base dugout to support his catcher. Trainer a little more professional. He just got kicked out of the game. Nobody in the ballpark would have known that they were arguing if Angel Campos didn't get in Matt Trainer's face. Matt Trainer had his head down the whole time. Remember when something like this happened last year with Jason Kendall?
Well, the one thing that umpires never do, they never get in front of a catcher and really start barking at a catcher. Normally you stay behind the catcher, say what you got to say, then you go from there. And I don't blame Ned Yost for being upset in this situation here, because this is clearly initiated by the home plate umpire. Well, let's see if Joe West is going to do the screening thing that he did on Jeff Franco. Tony, the manager for the Red Sox. Terry Francona, he kept it from arguing with the guy that threw him out of the ball game. You can't do that either.
The only reason we had any idea that there was something going on is because our microphone behind home plate picked it up, and it caught my attention. I immediately looked down at the field, and Matt Trainer, he's looking away from the umpire. Nobody has any idea he's having a conversation with the home plate umpire. So that's a professional right there. And even before that, Angel Campos had gotten in front of Matt Trainer.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Sounded like he broke his bat. Laporta. Backhanded flip to Masterson. He didn't get the bag. At least that's what the first base umpire Rob Drake says. Masterson, who rarely argues, does not agree, and here comes Manny Acta to pick up his cause.
Now he had it. Look at Justin over there. He would not argue. He would not argue if he didn't miss the bag. I can tell you that right now. Let him go back to the mound. That he had to blow the call. I'm right now, without even seeing a replay, I'm going to say Masterson was right. His feet are about 2 feet long anyway. How can you miss the bag? Let's get a look and see. All right, Laporta comes over, gives him the backhanded flip. Here comes Masterson going over, steps there. Now, I can't see if he hits the bag.
Oh, yeah. You could see him kick it with his toe. Right at the end. You could see the way his foot flexed. He'll kick it right there. Watch his foot.
Yeah,
see how his foot caught the bag?
I'm thinking he got it. Justin wouldn't argue if he didn't get it. And now you see, all right, yeah, go ahead and throw him out. That's okay. Get your money's worth, Matty.
And now the acting crew chief, Bruce Dreckman, going to come all the way
sure,
across
let
the
him
diamond.
come over there. That's, you know what?
And he's
just
not
make
going
the
away.
Call. Good for him. Stay out there and get your money's worth.
And Manny Acta rarely comes out
That's
of the dugout
what I'm
to
talking
argue.
about. He's not coming out. You know why he came out? He knows Justin Masterson wouldn't say anything if he didn't hit the base. And his player told him, hey, look, I got to go protect my man. And he was right. It looked like he tagged the bag. Now he's arguing with the crew chief, who has no business over there. He was on the third baseline farther away from it than Acta was.
Well, Manny is really hot about something. Maybe it was just the way that Rob Drake was dealing with him, because he is really smoking hot.
Well, yeah, you never. Hey, Manny's been here 2 years. Never seen him that mad.
No,
that's just a blown call.
You have to wonder. You honestly have to wonder. And this, I'm not trying to blast the umpires, but they got one job. They got one job, and how you miss that. Even in real time, you've got to be able to see that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, sure, there's nothing else going on.
No.
You're right there.
Full count.
Oh. Got him.
Obviously, Pujols unhappy with the call.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this because
he's thrown him out now. Or maybe LaRussa. LaRussa came out of the dugout. You can't argue balls and strikes, so that's almost an automatic ejection. You're gone, Jim Joyce said.
Now, I'm not just saying this because Mike Adams has Padres across his chest, but that's a strike. That is a darn good pitch.
Right across the knees.
Yep. He got it with the front door slider.
That's a pitcher's pitch. LaRussa is going to get his money's worth here. Now he's going to come back for more. He's gone.
That at-bat went from a pitch around, try to hit my slider down and away, swinging 3-0 to a punch out, and here's the toss. Jim Joyce runs him.
Bouncing ball right side, gloved by Espinosa to his feet, and it is in time for the out, and Braun has just been ejected. He slammed the helmet right in front of Adrian Johnson, and Braun is headed to the clubhouse. His manager might follow.
That looked like a pretty close play. In regular speed, it looked like Braun beat it. Adrian Johnson rings him up. Well, you don't get that kind of a reaction from Ryan Braun very often, and you don't get that kind of a reaction from Ron Renicky. It's a heck of a play by Espinosa just to get there. He's able to grab it, keep it in the glove, able to get up and make a good throw over to first base.
There you see just how close it was.
Well, you can't really argue. I mean, that's as close as it gets. I mean, if you called him safe, the Nationals probably would have argued. But that is as bang bang as it gets, and you are always going to get thrown out when you do that. I mean, you're just asking for it doing that.
That gets by. Here comes Dexter. Throw to Saunders. Does he have the baseball? He does.
Oh, I thought
his
foot got underneath.
Out at the plate, and Saunders is still down. Dexter Fowler is down also. Jim Tracy's arguing he just got thrown out by Mark Wegner, and you still have two bodies down. Tracy's irate. He's already gone. Trainers are coming out. Dex is up and okay. And Arizona's starting pitcher, Joe Saunders, is lying on his back. Meanwhile, Tommy Runnels is going to handle the rest of this baseball game from the Rockies' perspective. Well, I didn't even see it. All I saw was Wegner threw him out. I mean, he wasn't out there for 6 seconds.
But watch Dexter's foot as he goes in and where Saunders tags him.
Tracy goes out saying he's safe. What?
That's
how did he
quick.
get thrown out that quick? He's pointing to the corner of the plate.
Maybe he thinks he's showing him up.
Relax, it's not about you.
This move to where it's a weapon for you when you get a base runner out there.
Runner holding this time, and Hairston pops it up right center for Maben. 2 outs.
Jerry Hairston is arguing with Ed Hickok. He didn't even run on that ball. He's standing at home plate, and I think he quick pitched him, and he's out of the game.
Hairston ejected by Ed Hickox.
He's saying he was out of the box trying to get in the box. He walked in the box, and the pitch was on the way. We saw Jerry Hairston get a hit like that this year. And Clayton Richard has been doing that all night long to Nationals hitters, been quick pitching them. That's one of those things where you got to get in the box, hold your hand up. He called timeout, didn't get it. We've seen him do that this year. You have to be granted timeout.
And Jerry Hairston is still going after Ed Hickox. He returned to argue again. Bo Porter out, Riggleman out to protect him. The umpire does not have to give you time.
But
John McLaren right there.
He works so fast. He's been quick pitching hitters all night long. And that's one of those where when you have 2 strikes, becomes a huge deal. With 1 strike or no strikes, whatever. Call it a strike. I'll get back in there and I'll figure it out. But when you have 2 strikes and you're fighting for your life up there, and you look up and the guy's already into his motion, and that's why he called timeout. He's trying to get timeout. And he must have said the magic word, and Jim Riggleman, you see his reaction, just a hair late on trying to save his third baseman.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a little bouncer. Here comes Morgan. The throw to the plate. The slide. Safe at home. Morgan sneaks by Whiteside.
Wow, pretty close.
3-0 Milwaukee. Very close play at the plate. And instead of crashing into the catcher, Morgan goes to the backside of the dish, and he's in there.
Well, and if he crashed into the catcher, he probably would have been out, because catchers don't have to make tags when there's contact on a play at the plate. Nigel Morgan, he stays in foul territory, slides to the back end of the base, or the home plate, pretty close. And a safe sign by the home plate umpire.
Bruce Bochy just got tossed. It's been a very frustrating 3 days for the Giants, and it all comes pouring out here on home plate umpire Mike McClinsky as Bochy has been ejected.
It has been very frustrating. They have had a tough time scoring runs, and any run that you put on the board against them makes it that much more difficult for them.
There's a base hit left field for Wieters. Got in a hitter's count, got a fastball, and Wieters is 2 for 3. And Nolan Reimold is going to hit, and Bob Guerin's, he's got the, I'm probably going to take the pitcher out walk. We don't know that for sure.
Now with Fred Ziegler warming up, it must have been a batter to batter as far as how long it would stay in the game. They waiting for the call and waiting to see if he gets it. And he's talking to Kurt Suzuki, which sometimes is a good idea, because the catcher will be honest in these situations. Say, if the manager says, how's he throwing? Tell him. And sometimes that occurs even before he goes back out on the mound.
Dio is actually going to have company going to the clubhouse. The manager, Bob Guerin, has been tossed.
Well, if you argue balls and strikes, and it's an automatic. And if there was anything mentioned about the strike zone, then home plate umpire Angel Campos didn't even have to, give the indication that he'd been ejected.
Weaver's a guy that can go deeper in the ballgame. Social will give him that opportunity.
Span out at second. Weaver with the pickoff to end the inning. Looked like Span got back in.
No, he never got to the bag.
Great play by Ibar with his left foot. Yep. While we were away, Twins manager Ron Gardenhire was ejected as he came out of the dugout to argue the call at second base.
Yeah, with Andy Fletcher right there. Gardy thought he had his foot, and Andy Fletcher ended up giving him the heave-ho, and Gardy thrown out for the 3rd time this year and 55th time in his career.
Thinking about 10 days or so.
Might help a little bit.
Yeah.
Might help a lot.
A balk is called, and it's 1-0 Houston.
Oh, wait, what we got going on here? But Norris balked in there on last night. Rayburn pointing to his front knee. This is interesting for a home plate umpire to make that call.
He was pointing toward that knee. Now Gibson's gone.
Yeah. Wow. How about that?
Talk about a cheap run.
1-0 on a balk.
Well, that's a play we see over and over again all year long, and it's never a balk. You could make a case that that should always be a balk for some of the piddling stuff they call, but they don't. This was discussed this winter. Brad Mills, we had that conversation the other day, and you can see from that angle where Rayburn is calling that he didn't step directly towards third base.
Right.
This entire road trip, or a homestand, I should say. He went around, says Mike Estabrook. Kinsler throws the bat, throws the helmet, and gets thrown out.
I don't think he knows it. He's going out to second base. I don't think he knows he got kicked out.
No, he doesn't have the bad news yet.
Strike. 1 out. Fastball inside corner. 0-2. So Nolasco making a couple of tough pitches to Kemp, who's right on top of the plate, and that was in there. Little ground ball to third. Helms to the bag, fires over to first. They get the double play, and Nolasco is out of the mess. More than the wind has come up. When Matt Kemp grounded into the double play, as he walked off the field, he was obviously upset over, I believe, the second pitch that was called a strike, and Matt thought it was inside. Although he was hollering almost at third base to home plate, Ron Copa, the plate umpire, kicked him out. And then Matt went a little bit ballistic and had to be restrained from charging back out onto the field. Then for Don Mattingly, he went out to appeal and argue with Ron Copa, and Don has been kicked out. So Kemp, a fiery brand player anyway, all you had to do is remember that game-winning base hit by Deona Navarro Friday night, and how Matt Kemp couldn't wait to wrestle him and get some energy out. And that's the throw for Don Mattingly. So for the Dodgers, Tony Gwynn will take over in center field, and the Dodgers lose their center fielder and their manager.
That's a fair ball inside the bag at third. Peralta coming to third base. And it's been touched by a fan, and that's going to cost the Tigers a run. They're going to send Peralta back to third.
Jim Leyland's going to go out and have a conversation with the third base umpire here. Delman Young put his hands up immediately, and it appeared that when Delman Young, the left fielder, put his hands up, the umpire, he bought it. But let's take a look to see if a fan really touched it.
Umpires are convening here. They're going to give him the run.
Nice job, Jim Leyland.
And meanwhile, here comes Gardenhire. And he can't believe it. So the Tigers will get this run.
Gardy's going to get kicked out here.
Yeah, that's a given right now.
Yeah, he's going to get tossed.
Peralta gets a double and an RBI. Gardenhire is minutes away from getting the heave-ho here. He is fired up. Avila will get the RBI to put the Tigers ahead 6-5. Went into the seats and out. Young throwing his hands up immediately. The umpires wasted little time in convening, and they gave the Tigers the run.
That's Gary Darling. He's the third base umpire. Who overruled him? Was it the home plate umpire that overruled Gary Darling?
I want to say it was Paul Emmel at first base. I don't know, though. I saw him coming from the first base end.
It was a nice sail job by Delman Young in left field. Watch Young. Oh, it looked like he got that left hand, too. Ooh, I don't know, buddy.
And now Gardenhire's been thrown out.
Well, you knew that was coming. It just took a little longer than we thought.
So, Gardy's going to go off for some more now that he's been thrown out. And the Twins manager's had enough. And the fans will wave goodbye to Ron Gardenhire, who's been ejected from this game.